Some say that the parable of the rich man and Lazarus proves that we either go to heaven or hell at death, but this story wasn't meant to be taken literally. Jesus often used parables, fictional stories with deep spiritual meaning, to challenge false beliefs, and this is one of them. And there are a few ways that we can know that this is just a parable. The first clue is in how Jesus starts. There was a certain. This is how Jesus began many of his parables. Secondly, we're told the rich man dies and his body is buried, yet somehow he still has body parts. He's got eyes, a tongue, and a voice. How do you have body parts without a body? And next comes an absurd scene. He's burning in flames, yet asking for a drop of water to cool his tongue. Surely you would ask for the whole ocean to be poured on you. How does a drop of water relieve the torments of hellfire? And would a drop of water even make it there before it evaporated? Clearly this isn't serious theology. Jesus is using satire to get his point across. And I've personally seen someone pulled from a house fire, and they weren't calm and logical. There was nothing but screaming and panic. And yet in this story, he's calmly chatting across a great gulf, like neighbours chatting over a fence. But the next part really hits at a key problem if we want to take this parable literally. Would God put the righteous in a situation where they have to listen to the screams and watch the torments of their loved ones burning endlessly for thousands of years, crying for mercy when none is given? How long would you keep loving God if you had to watch the people you care about burn endlessly, just out of reach? But thankfully, this isn't to be taken literally. It's a vivid illustration drawn from a traditional belief of the Pharisees regarding Abraham's bosom and a place of torment. It's not something you'll find anywhere else in the Old Testament, and it's not even a belief that was held by other Jewish sects. So now we need to ask the question, what is this parable really about? The true meaning is far more profound than what happens when we die. The rich man represents the Pharisees, the very group that Jesus is here addressing. They were wealthy, religious, and believed that their status as the sons of Abraham guaranteed their salvation. And the 5 brothers, they represent the 5 other Jewish sects: the Sadducees, the Essenes, the Herodians, the Zealots, and the Scribes, all of whom had Moses and the prophets, but refused to believe. The impassable gulf between the two parties represents that there are no second chances after this life. Where you go is where you stay. And then there's Lazarus. He's poor, outcast, licked by the dogs, a symbol of the Gentile believers, whom the Pharisees believed could never be accepted by God. But Jesus flipped the script on what the Pharisees believed. It was the poor Gentile who was saved, while the self-indulgent religious Pharisee was lost. His knowledge of the scripture and his connection to Abraham didn't save him. But the climax of this parable comes at the very end. If they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded though one rose from the dead. And this is exactly why Jesus uses a proper name in this parable, because later on he did raise Lazarus from the dead. And did the Pharisees have a change of heart and believe? No, instead they tried to kill them both. And this parable became a prophecy. And so as you can see, this parable isn't about the afterlife. Jesus was warning the Pharisees not to rely on their connection to Abraham, and he's also giving us a message today. If we won't believe the scriptures, a miracle will do nothing to change our heart.